At a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You received the minutes for the April 16th meeting. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
No second. All yours.
All right, the first one is Lansford Borough. They own pretty much land down there in the Panther Creek, Black Creek, and what they want to do is subdivide into two parcels. One's 2.40 acres, which you see right here. And the other one is the acreage is not shown. There's public municipal water and sewer down there existing. There's no development taking place at this time. I had to go back and forth with the borough. You know, trying to get them, they're saying that they're gonna have to put a land development plan. Their understanding is they don't have a subdivision land development ordinance. This is where I'm gonna point it out to them. It's an existing municipal industrial complex, brushwood wood covered land tract. The plan is submitted conforms to the subdivision and land development requirements of the Lansford Borough subdivision and land development ordinances. And they adopted back then, when we split up, everybody had their own subdivision ordinance. They adopted our old county subdivision ordinance on April 1st, 1986. And I have the documentation to back it up. It conforms to the 43,560 square foot, 1 acre parcel A. And the subdivision and land development ordinance review, there was no issue. They went by our own ordinance, which wasn't really much. And again, I pointed out that Lansford Borough adopted the Carbon County subdivision and land development ordinance by reference at a regular monthly meeting of the Lansford Borough Council on April 1st, 1986, as recorded in the Lansford Council minutes on page 226. And the only thing they need is the original signatures, and all review comments of the Lansford Borough engineer should be addressed, and I would recommend approval.
Any discussion? Is there a motion for approval?
Second.
Motion passes.
Next one is Anthony O'Gorman and Catherine A. Loudon. Marion A. France owns this parcel. And it's right at the top of Buggins Mountain. You would coming up from somewhere here, you would make a left on that road that follows that ridge and goes back. This is right at the intersection.
Section of the highway.
Yep. Of the East Mountaintop Road. And PA State Route 902. It's a small tract of land. That PP&O power cut goes right through it. It's a 9.178 acre parcel, 2 lots. There's no lot, water, and sewer proposed. It's an existing brush and wood covered land tracts, moderate to severe sloping conditions throughout. On-site investigation revealed existing PP&L power company high tension line right away traversing proposed lot 1A. No visible barriers toward plan approval were noted. The plan is submitted does not conform to minor plan requirements per chapter 430 article 6. Requirements in Summit Hill Borough subdivision land development ordinance or chapter 475 requirements in Summit Hill Borough. The minimum lot size required in R1 low density residential is 1 acre. Final net area of lot 1, 3.801 and lot 2 are 3.975. They do meet that requirement. However, the non-building declaration is shown in the plan proposing a silviculture not residential, silviculture, which is tree clearing for timber harvest. We contacted the Carbon County Conservation District, and they, on that non-building waiver, they're requesting, they're saying it's for silviculture, but then again, there's disclaimers about on-lot storage and what permits they need and all that.
Would that include a mill also?
They don't have enough room. It's too small for a mill.
Right, that's what I figured. If it's a small lot, they may be doing something with cutting.
I don't wanna say, they got creative when they put that silviculture. It's fine. Plan does not conform to required drawing schedules, ownership not signed, engineer certification, and surveyor's certification not signed. Dimensions of all existing structures, the cell tower including accessory structures upon the subject property not shown, distance of existing structures not shown, proof of ownership and copy of the existing deed not submitted, copy of description of the existing PPL easement and easement of record not provided. They need a soil erosion control plan because they're proposing silviculture. Must be provided and deemed adequate by the Carbon County Conservation District for any earth disturbance activities at the site. They need to provide a copy of the adequacy letter. Lot plan note 1 acreage is in conflict with total acreage shown for lot 1 and 2. And I pointed out the non-building declaration should be revised to explain the need for the installation of storage disposal facilities for silviculture use. As shown in the declaration, the residual property is for silviculture use. A tree harvesting plan is strongly recommended to be submitted for review approval by the Carbon County Conservation District. And all earth moving activities shall be conducted in such a way to prevent accelerated erosion control. Timber harvesting plans shall be prepared and address all applicable erosion and sedimentation control measures under chapter 102. Erosion control rules and regulations, and Clean Streams Law, chapter 105, dam and waterway management rules and regulations. And number 23, dam safety and encroachment, original signatures, review comments of the Summit Hill Borough engineer should be addressed, and I would recommend conditional plan rejection.
Discussion? Is there a motion for conditional plan rejection?
So moved.
I'll second. Conditional plan rejection is granted.
You need a slug of water. Town Place Suites, Interchange Investment Group, Franklin Township. And I start with the Department of Engineering, who is their engineer. And we pretty much came up with the same comments. It's in the footprint of the old gym,
The old Jimmy Jim.
Jimmy's gym, yeah. And there is a road. There's a road coming in from the old auto campground down below. And I asked if we're gonna be utilizing that. And they said, no. And I went down the road because I used to take the shortcut back to Route 209.
I just drove back to the big Rock Street.
We're doing a lot line review. I like where it shows up on that road going down to auto campground. they put an earthen berm like 6 foot high blocking that road up, so we're not gonna be using it. And they're not gonna be using the existing access from 209, they're gonna rip all that up.
Existing access across from Gravers.
No,
No,
from, on the interchange
the
road.
access to a,
The old access coming in and exiting, they're ripping all that out. Everything's coming in from Rock Street. They, Franklin Township didn't tell anybody about recodifying their ordinances. So everybody, you myself, going with the old ordinance, and then I caught it last 2 months ago. And they called the police on them. Or the high engineering, sorry, and they had to go out and get the ordinance. They're gonna construct, it's a 9.77 acre. Construction of a 17,225 square foot townhouse suites hotel complex. With paid parking areas, which include 93 parking spaces. And 4 handicapped accessible parking spaces, 2 loading spaces out in the back. Will be for tractor trailer trucks. And stormwater management facilities will also be provided. Access to the site, to the site of the proposed building. Will be provided via 24-foot wide paved driveway from Rock Street. There's public municipal storage existing, they're gonna come up with on-lot water. Right now, it's an existing vacant land tract, areas of brush and wood are covered throughout. Slight to moderate sloping conditions exist throughout the land on the tract, and no visible barriers for development are noted. The minimum lot size required in a C2 general commercial district is 20,000 square feet. And the site conforms to that. However, they never addressed the building height. You look at all the buildings next, down the road, right next to them, they're higher than that 25-foot minimum in the zoning ordinance. Pointed out, the land development as proposed appears to meet zoning 404.6 requirements for maximum building coverage and paved area. However, the plan does not address the maximum 25-foot of allowable building height. And the plan should include the proposed building height and number of stories. If the height of the proposed building exceeds the zoning section 404.6, the 25-foot requirement for maximum allowable building height, zoning variances were required. And their ordinance allows a plan to be submitted as a preliminary final plan requirements. There is a section there saying you need preliminary plan approval for final, but if you have everything that you think, it'll pass, you can submit it as one. That's the way the township engineer reviewed the plan, so I basically copied him. They're gonna need a storage facility planning module. Approval of land development shall be conditioned upon approval of the soil erosion sedimentation control plan. And they're gonna need a NPDES permit exceeding 1 acre birth disturbance. They have to follow section 23 lot line adjustment, subdivision procedures, A 1 to 4. The date the field work completed, not included on the plans. Plan sheets as submitted are 30 by 42. The although section 28A requires no plan sheets larger than 24 by 36. There's no site context map not provided. Existing features plan 205 should be revised to include all required items, specified existing resources and site analysis, although section 28C 1 through 4, existing and site analysis, section 29A, to provide the developer and the township with a comprehensive analysis of the existing conditions, both on a development site and within 200 feet of the site. They did complete a preliminary review of impact and conservation analysis, categorize the impacts on the proposed activities and physical alterations categories the impacts of the proposed activities and physical alterations of those resources shown on the existing features plan. Preliminary improvement plans not prepared or following information not shown. Location of proposed soils, drainage easements, stormwater, and other management facilities. Layout of all proposed sanitary and storm sewers, location of all inlets, culverts. Plan title should be revised and reviewed, preliminary final plan. Certification of ownership not completed, surveyor certification not completed. Copy of the latest deed of record not provided. Applicant shall submit documentations regarding water table depth and potential for affecting the groundwater supply for the proposed on-lot well. Sewage facility planning module, again, list of all public utility, environmental, and other permits required. And if none are required, statements to that effect. Again, they want to point it out, a soil erosion control plan not submitted. Drainage, stormwater management plan meeting the requirements of the Franklin Township subdivision ordinance, land development ordinance. And the Franklin Township Stormwater Management Ordinance 2001-01 not submitted. Again, supporting documentations and information, statement indicating any proposed zoning variances or subdivision waivers, modifications not provided on the plan. Plan for ownership and maintenance of all improvements not provided, documentation of compliance with Pennsylvania Historical and Museum Commission requirements. Documentation of submission to the Pennsylvania Natural Diversity Index in compliance with any findings. Again, they want a copy of the latest deed of record not provided, the soil erosion control plan, drainage and stormwater management plan. It requires the Franklin Township subdivision land development ordinances statement setting forth any zoning variances or subdivision waivers or modifications obtained in the plan. Some of this might seem being copied, but it's for preliminary and final, so I put it in both. Plan information, over here on Rock Street. The property boundary along Rock Street not shown dimensions. Just up there. Clear site triangle not shown for the intersection of access driveway and Rock Street. Lot line adjustment notes, well and source disposal notes should be shown on the plan. Post succession of ownership and continued operation and maintenance of all development improvements not provided by a developer. Development agreement shall be required to be executed between the developer and Franklin Township prior to preliminary final plan approval. Drainage easements with a minimum width of 10 foot not provided along all road lines, exterior property lines, and centered on all common lot lines. Appropriate design speed for the access drive shall be determined by the applicant and accepted by the township for determination of site distances, vertical curb lengths, and center line width. No portion of any access drive should be outside the street right of way. That access goes out into the right of way. Stormwater management facilities should comply with the pertinent requirements, all those in section 53. Again, soil erosion control plan and approved MPS permit required. Sewage and water disposal. All land development shall be served by an adequate water supply, and the developer should provide evidence documenting said adequacy. All sewage disposal systems shall be consistent with the Franklin Township Sewage Facility Plan. All on-lot water supply systems shall comply with the requirements of the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection and applicable Franklin Township ordinances. The requirement for the installation of on-lot wells should be noted on the land development plan and shall be required by restrictive covenant to be approved by Franklin Township prior to preliminary final plan approval. The capacity of the well shall be certified by a licensed well driller, be adequate for the use proposed. Off-street parking and loading, required off-street parking, loading, and unloading facilities shall not be used for any other purposes, including but not limited to such sales, display, or storage areas, or the parking of vehicles for which the area was not approved, and it's e.g. parking of tractor trailers required passenger vehicle areas. The applicant shall demonstrate that travel ways within the property are adequate to safely and efficiently serve vehicles which are recently inspected. This property turning radius templates developed by the American Association of the Highway Transportation Officials shall serve as design standard. Access drives and landscaping shall be defined with concrete curving or alternate material as may be approved by the township. All the proposed and required parking areas serving any commercial use shall be separated from any public road right of way or adjoining property lines by a landscape buffer area not less than 15 foot wide. On the off-street parking loading, all areas provided for the parking of vehicles shall have a minimum grade of 0.50%. And on the grading plan, there was nothing shown regarding these parking vehicles. But I pointed out that spot elevations need to be added to the parking areas and sidewalks to demonstrate minimum grading that is provided to show the locations of crowns and low points and that demonstrate compliance with the ADA regulations for access and travelways. All plans for the proposed parking areas of 30 or more spaces shall include details for adequate snow storage or removal. And all land development shall have easements provided for the installation of power utility lines to serve each lot. And provisions shall be made for the location of television and cable lines installed in said easements. All existing and proposed utility lines should be shown in the plan. And landscape requirements, shall reach mature tree or tree mass on the site shall be shown and shall be designated to remain from removed. There's a lot of going down here in the bottom here, there's a lot of trees in the back there. Scraping my car, so they gotta get there and take them out or stay. One planting island shall be provided for every 10 parking spots. Planting island shall be a minimum of 9 feet by 18 feet in dimension, underlain by soils not face coarse material, mounted by no more than 3 to 1 slope and not less than 5 to 1 slope shall be protected by curbing or bollards. Each planting island should contain a minimum of 1 shade tree plus shrubs and or ground cover. All the land development shall be landscaped with property line buffers to integrate new developments with the surrounding and separate incompatible land uses and site element screens that act to minimize or eliminate certain views. Parking should not be permitted in the buffer area. The developer or landowner should provide to Franklin Township a performance guarantee equal to the amount necessary to cover purchasing, planning, maintaining, and replacing all vegetative materials for a period of 18 months following the installation of the approved landscape. And the landscaping plan shall include notes contained in these reference sections of Sawmill. The final landscape plan shall show the following required items: berms, fences, walls, and freestanding signs, proposed contours, existing mature trees, woodland, and tree masses to remain. And the planning details, including method of protecting existing vegetation and landscape planning method specifications concerning seeding, sodding, and including method of protecting existing vegetation and landscape planning methods. Detailed cost estimate showing the value of all proposed landscaping, including all labors and materials. Lighting plans shall be submitted to the township for review and approval for land development applications. And the lighting plan should address all items specified in the sections 561. And firefighting, adequate and reliable water source. Each land development shall provide an adequate and reliable water source for firefighting purposes. Provisions for an adequate and reliable water source shall be submitted as part of the application, and that shall be inspected by the Franklin Township for compliance with this ordinance. And the Franklin Township Fire Chief should review the plan before preliminary final approval. And the applicant should state whether they or not the hotel is to have a sprinkler fire system. Fire apparatus, access roads, fire lines shall be provided in all land developments according to the minimum standards set forth in section 63. And again, the developer shall dedicate land suitable for recreational areas accessible to land development, or provide a cash contribution to real Franklin Township for the aforesaid dedication. The Franklin Township Stormwater Management Plan, basically it's everything that gets reviewed in my other review, and there's a poll. Located within the right of way of that access road. And the pole located in the proposed hotel driveway is to be relocated or removed. Again, all plan recommendations of Franklin Township be approved. And again, the In reviewing the above land development plans, we believe we found several major areas non-compliant to the Franklin Township land development ordinances and the Franklin Township zoning ordinance that precludes any recommendation for approval of this land development this time. As submitted for our review, we also note that this land development plan, as proposed, will require reviews and approvals of permitting by county and state agencies. And I just pointed out that we reviewed it. And we're providing the comments to Franklin Township supervisors, Franklin Township Planning Commission, applicant and surveyor, engineer responsible for the project. And if the above noted comments cannot be adequately addressed or adequately mitigated for preliminary final plan approval, we recommend plan rejection of the project.
What do they mean? Dedicate land suitable for recreational areas accessible to the land.
They used to have in the old ordinance, $500 for each land development lot or each subdivision lot. That's no longer in the new ordinance, so they're gonna have to haggle with the Franklin Township supervisors.
It's kind of vague.
No, it doesn't say this, the exact amount anymore.
Really?
Yeah,
But it's still required, but there's no dollar amount.
there's no dollar, it's required, but they have to come up with a dollar amount after discussion.
Just negotiated.
So
I'm sorry.
nobody knows what that,
It used to be $500.
they could take quite a bit of land.
No, they're not taking land. If they don't provide it, then they have to make a cash contribution.
But it says shall dedicate land suitable for recreational areas accessible to the land development.
Yeah.
So they have to give them the land as part of the land development?
If they have to discuss it with Franklin Township. Yep,
And it's
that's the way it's written.
that big.
This hotel doesn't say how many rooms or
No.
units. I mean, I guess they don't have to, right? Or-
No, it's not in the ordinance, but they do have to come up with the height.
So having a well for that size building. I mean, they haven't done the test well or drilled anything.
No, that's the whole point of that.
Not to mention there are two hotels right next to it, that's a bottle of water.
Right, to get a.
Same ordinance.
Get
Don't they ran, I thought they ran city water up there years ago.
One final question, like the highway occupancy permit, I mean, I saw that accident the other day on 209, and I know that the district justices over many years have talked about that divided highway and how dangerous it is, and not supposed to make a U-turn, but people still do, so with that whole development along Interchange Road, with this another hotel, a third hotel, at what point does PennDOT do an evaluation of how to make that road safer?
They did that already, and they recommended putting a light at that intersection.
I was just gonna say that there should be a light.
Franklin Township.
Really?
Well, the township would have to pay for it.
I don't know if they're still in discussion, but
But to have another,
Not, they could force the developer
That could
to
be
put that light in.
that is such a dangerous road.
down the bottom where that gas station is, they're not supposed to be cutting across,
Yeah,
going up on the other lane, but they're doing it.
yeah.
Right, and nobody does 35 or 45. And I do because the troopers always sit on that road. They always sit.
Well, you've heard, Ivan's multiple comments.
That's pretty good.
Any questions? Second? If not, what do we?
Just reviewed it and sending our comments to.
I'm looking to, that we reviewed it, and then it's not Ivan. Nothing. Right, second. Sound good? We'll do that. Ivan.
The other one shorter for your voice.
No. Well, yeah, basically, I don't know if you ever met Deanna Schmore, she did a good job. And the from private engineering, 8 pages.
Wow.
Yeah, we talked a lot over the phone. sending the comments back and forth and editing them and stuff. Frank is not the only one. Kidder Township or not. And Forest Township did the same thing. They're codifying it and not notifying. So, I was going through the old ordinances and then they find out you. Codified.
Don't they require a public notice when they do that?
They did it. All right, next one is Eugene Shaw, Penn Forest Township. Lot line reversion. This is South Lake Drive. 526 North Lake Drive, sorry. Kidder Township, it's zoned R2 medium density residential. It's a 0.41 acre tract. There's public municipal water and sewer existing, there's a home existing. And what we're doing is removing a lot line and combining two lots. It's an existing residential brush and wood covered land tract, moderate slope additions throughout. On-site investigation revealed existing structures on the proposed lot. No business wires toward development or plan approval are noted. It meets the lot itself does not meet the 1.15 minimum acreage. Total lot does not conform to the lot size requirements, zoning parking lot table minimum lot required for area for dwellings or for an R2 medium density residential. However, the proposed lot document consolidation decreases existing non-conformity. Plan requirements for lot improvement subdivision, there were no issues. And I pointed out that they have to, owner certification, owner's affidavits have to complete and original signatures, and I recommend plan approval.
Any discussion? There's a motion for plan approval.
So moved.
Second, plan approval is granted.
So next one, Schneck. Another lot consolidation. Located 625 East Pine Street, Bowmanstown Borough. Zoned R1 low density residential, 0.78 acre tract. There's existing public municipal water and sewer. And basically what they're doing is they're combining this lot and the garage, to put everything into one lot. It does not conform to minor final plan requirements of the Bowmanstown Borough subdivision land development ordinances. And the lot itself conforms to the zoning. Again, minor stuff is survey and engineer certification is not completed. Certificates of ownership not signed, notarized, and I would recommend plan approval. You have to do that for me.
Any discussion? Is there a motion for plan approval?
So moved. Second.
Plan approval is granted.
And this is Rosella Enterprises LLC. And this is on located at 3034 Hatchery Road, Penn Forest Township. This is where the old mule riding stables were located. There's those two buildings are still standing. They're using them as their one for their office and one for the
Pocono Adventures on.
Pocono Mule Adventure. That's what it was. And there's two existing buildings. It's 32 point something acres, but that's from City Water Authority and then Lehigh down below. Deeds. What they want to do is they're combining all these lots. Get rid of these lot lines and then doing a 3-lot subdivision, 1, 2, 3. And then after that's done. Lot 1. Is going to be 22.79 acres. And they're proposing a single-family residential home and 6 glamping sites and 2 sedimentation and erosion control ponds. The access is by gravel road, and then when you look here.
So is it currently zone C1 highway commercial?
Yes, and it conforms with the zoning. The only thing that through the access to the glamping areas. Battery roads. The only thing that wasn't, forget that. Number, let's see, that's lot 1. Lot number 2. Part of lot 1 and lot 2. Lot 2 is, there's an existing 5,550 square foot construction company storage building. They're proposing 230 by 240 storage buildings, 30 by 300 storage buildings, and above ground 30,000 gallon propane tank, and a retail distribution propane filling area, and 40 trailers towards storage spaces and paved access and aisles. The only thing with this was the propane storage. It's a special exception. I have a letter from the zoning hearing board. They granted that a special exception on August 2nd. August 18, 2022. They put, subject to the following items. They got to apply with the Penn Forest Township ordinance, shall comply with all other applicable laws, including Department of Transportation concerning highway occupancy permit. They need to comply with all the laws, rules, and provisions of the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection, rules and regulations of the labor industry. They're only limited to retail sales of the propane. It's not, these big trucks aren't going to be coming in and filling up and going out to, other areas. It's only, retail, and not to exceed Monday through Saturday with hours of 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. No home delivery trucks using the facilities. Applicant shall have vegetative screening placed at the property. And applicant shall ensure that the propane transfer technician shall be properly trained. And they granted that special exception, so that's going to be on this site.
Ivan, what do they need with emergency management, like similar to a company that's
They,
sells chemicals?
we have, I think they have to point out that they have to go with state police and all the emergency responders and things like that. They have to contact them. Lot 3 is, there's an existing 342. Right here. Construction company office and storage building, 130 by 120 material storage pad, and 140 by 85 storage pad, paved parking area, and 10-foot wide gravel maintenance access driveway. Stormwater facilities located on lot 1 will service all stormwater from lots 2 and 3. The lot 1 is proposed on lot water and proposed on lot sewage. Lot 2 is existing on lot water, proposed on lot sewage. And lot 3 is existing on lot water, and there's existing on lot sewage. And let's see, it's an existing commercial vacant land, brush and wood covered track, slight to moderate sloping distance throughout. On-site investigation on portion of the track revealed existing structures on proposed lots 2 and 3. Earth disturbance activities are noted on proposed lot 1, and no visible barriers toward development or plan approval were noted. The plan as submitted does not conform to the preliminary final plan requirements of Penn Forest Township land development ordinances. However, the plan conforms to the requirements of the Penn Forest Township zoning ordinance. let's see here. I said propane distribution is considered a special exception use in the C1 Commercial Highway District. As shown on the cover sheet, the documentation is submitted by the applicant. A special use permit was granted by the Penn Forest Township Zoning Hearing Board, subject to conditions on August 18th, 2022. For propane distribution use on the property. Access shall be provided so that fire equipment can reach all sides of the proposed building. Penn Forest Township Fire Chief should review the plan and comment whether proposed site access improvements are acceptable for fire protective services. Again, review of preliminary plan required a review approval of preliminary plans under Saldo 210-8. Saldo section 210-9 requires a review approval of preliminary plan before submission of the final plan for review and approval within 12 months after the approval of the preliminary plan. As shown on the plan, the applicant requesting a waiver from the Saldo requirement. I believe you would have no issue with that. Granted a waiver. The server certification testing the accuracy of the subdivision plan must be signed. Ownership must be completed, signature block authorized Penn Forest Township, the staff and its consultants to enter upon to inspect the site for conducting review and determining consistency with the requirements of the Penn Forest Saldo of the application not executed. Again, trees greater than 8 inches in caliber. The pointed out that the applicant should request a waiver. 2 copies of the sewage facility planning module not submitted. The traffic impact study and report with recommendations not submitted with the preliminary plan submission. Again, the applicant is requesting a waiver from the Saldo section requirement. And I defer comment on this request to the Penn Forest Township engineer. Documentation from the Penn Forest Township Service Enforcement Officer that each proposed lot has been approved. A copy of the DEP connection acceptance of the sewage facility planning modules should be provided. They need copies of all the highway occupancy permits, subdivision improvement agreed by the developer. They need a performance guarantee and a national pollutant discharge elimination service permit. And stormwater owners operation and maintenance agreement should be provided. The engineer certification of accuracy and compliance should be signed. Again, I'll review comments or recommendations of the Penn Forest Township engineer, and we've been sending it out there to them for their review.
You just sending your comments over and over.
Yep.
No more. Is there a motion to send the review comments for the? No move.
1 second.
Well, let it be written, so let it be done.
Good to vote on that. You have to vote on that since there was a motion.
I don't think they're gonna vote against it. They're not gonna vote against their motion.
Aye.
Your mouth is going numb, I
My fingers are numb. I'm seeing double. And the last one is Jeffrey A. and Henry Full. This is a minor subdivision in lot line. It's only one subdivision. Located intersection of German Road and Stone Quarry Road, East Penn Township. It's all rural, 14.11 acres. On lot storage, there's none proposed for, it's proposed for lot 1, which is across the street over here. He's giving this land right here, this little section, to his son. And 1 lot water is proposed for lot 1. let's see, it's an existing agricultural, existing brush and wood covered land track, modest severe slope conditions allowed. On-site investigation, a portion of the track revealed no visible barriers toward development of proposed lot one. Several outbuildings located up here in the back, a barn and a couple of sheds. And no barriers toward plan approval were noted. Does not conform to preliminary final plan requirements, of East Penn Township subdivision ordinance, however, it conforms to East Penn Township zoning ordinances. Lot one is stormwater management plan not submitted. Lot one. Erosion and sedimentation control plan not submitted, and the owner's certification not completed. Excuse me. This plan is in clean and green, and they have to go to the recorder deeds to get it taken out for these two lots. I would recommend. Again, we found there is non-compliance with the requirements of the Penn Township land development ordinances. And I would, just recommend it, send our comments.
Any discussion? Is there a motion to send a comment to East Penn?
So moved. Second.
Good job, Evan.
Thank you. See what I can do. Well, this one, Gonzalez, not. Because we got it. So I did it anyhow. It's basically the project information for the chapter 102 permit for the NPDO. And yeah, this is what I have. They want to know, is there adopted county and multiple county comprehensive? Yes. If yes, then is the proposed project consistent with the county plan? Nothing in that comprehensive plan. For land development, stuff like this.
For the silk mill you're talking about.
No, I'm talking about the plan that we just had in the Zeller. For land development, there's nothing, in there. I just, it's a general area, but I just say yes. And they need DEP to check it. But that's one of the comments I had, nobody's listening. So we sent that out. Little League Farms,
Would that relate to the greenway and open space part of the new plan? The requirement for that?
that's why I put it in, but yeah, but this is development. All right, we can talk about that later. Little League Farms, they just sent an applicant for a required notification. They want an operation of natural gas fired boilers. This is the Hazelton City Water Authority, again. They replacing approximately 6,250 square linear feet of water line along Buck Mountain Road, east and west of the intersection with Eckley Road. There will be no change in land cover and thus no change in runoff as a result of this project. No stormwater controls have been installed in the project. But then again, they want to know if it's meet the county comprehensive. And the last one I have is the PADEP MPDS chapter 102 permit. They want to remove dams over on Silk Mill Dam removal and stream restoration projects, dams 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And they're submitting municipal notifications, and they sent all the information with it. And I reviewed it and sent them the letter saying it's been reviewed.
Ivan, with those comments you get that you can't line up to the existing comprehensive plan. Can we have a discussion with the consultants to see what could be put in the new plan? So to make that clearer in the future?
That's what I put in my comments when they asked all those things. And
Well, there's still.
that's the journal meeting, we can talk after that.
Trying to find a solution for you.
About it?
Yeah.
Okay.
No visitors? Is there a motion for adjournment?
Move.
Second.
Okey dokey.